You also need to understand government does this and across the spectrum, and they call it a set aside, which basically means who can compete for this. They'll say, I want women owned companies. I want service disabled veteran companies, or I want just small business or anybody. When it's set aside for a specific audience, that's telling you a lot in the story as well, that there could be companies that meet these needs, two or three already. And so the person who's offering, asking for people to bid on it might already know that, oh, I know two or three small business women-owned companies. So I'm just going to say, in order to do this, you got to be a woman-owned business. Focus in on that and make sure you understand early so that you're not wasting time on going through an opportunity when you can't compete for it because you don't meet those needs. Some will even say, we have economically distressed areas in our state, and we want you to set up your company in these. And we're going to give you a preference that you can win this if you can tell us specifically that you'll employ people from there and you'll have your place of performance there. And those are called, economically distressed communities. It could be a variety of things, but there's these preferences or set-asides that a company or has. If you're a small business, and which is, you don't have anything else, you're not a service disabled small business, et cetera, there's plenty of opportunities that are set aside for small business. There are also preferences there are also opportunities where there's no preferences. That's a little scarier for a small business, because when they don't have a preference, you might, an entity that has a lot of past performance, has been doing it for years, has a lot of money, and can jump in on the game and squash the small business. When you see it's non-preference, those are a little more difficult if you don't have a lot of means, because it is opening it up to the folks that might have 50 folks working for them, several hundred, might have a national preference, national presence. So just be cautious as you're looking at these, and you can read a lot into what the government's looking for by just how they're claiming, how they state who should go after this, and the preference they're giving to different entities. And also how it comes out, interestingly, is they might say they have a preference in scoring, meaning that there's 100 points. And if you are a women-owned business, we're going to give you 4 points right off the bat. And so now I have to look at, if I'm not a woman-owned business and I have a competitor who is just who is a women-owned business, it's going to be hard for me to potentially beat them because they have 4 points already under their belt that I lose because I'm not a woman-owned small business. So when they give these preferences in there, even though it's not saying you have to be this, but it's saying you got certain points to score if you are in there, it does enable these types of companies who are referenced as specific point winners in a section, in many cases, a leap ahead of others.